day today, dog. Offense, great drive.
Go!
He's up. 1, 2, 3.
Welcome to Training Camp Live, presented by Atlantic Health System.
Almost game day in Philadelphia. The New York Jets gearing up on a cloudy day here in Florham Park as they get ready for their preseason opener in Philadelphia against the Eagles. Welcome into Training Camp Live, presented by Atlantic Health. Staying out of the heat here in the BetMGM studio, although it's a nice cool day here in Florham Park. I'm Ethan Greenberg, joined alongside Eric Allen. We'll hear from Caroline Hendershot later in the show. But EA, let's just dive right into our first whistle, okay? Because big news here for the Jets. Right tackle Mekhi Becton likely out for the season. A new injury to the same knee that kept him out of 16 games in 2021.
Yeah, listen, I don't love being in the studio right now, even though this is beautiful. I love being outside for training camp. With that being said, we're watching Robert Saleh and Mike LaFleur on your screen right now. A tough blow for the Jets and their offense. Mekhi Becton, the right kneecap, is probably going to mean that he'll miss the entire 2022 season. With that being said, Robert Saleh did say that he's going to get some more second opinions today. Maybe we'll have something more conclusive, but it's a tough blow for Becton because he really worked hard to get himself in shape after mandatory minicamp, staying here with the team doctors, the trainers, the nutritionists, got his body in shape. We saw him increase his workload throughout camp. I really appreciated the fact that on 90-plus degree days with high humidities, he wasn't coming off to the sideline, and we saw the glimpses of the big Highway 77 that we saw his rookie year here in camp, Ethan. So a tough blow for the Jets, a tough blow for him. Now they have to move on.
I saw this on Twitter yesterday. Isn't it crazy to think that Mekhi Becton hasn't played in front of Jets fans in a regular season game because he was a part of the COVID year in 2020, and then 2021, his injury occurred at Carolina. And now this year he won't play again, so he'll be entering year 4, hopefully the first time he plays in front of Jets fans. But let's talk about how this changes the complexity of this offensive line room, because in practice right now, you see George Fant taking a rep. Earlier, George Fant has been on a pitch count. There he is right there, number 76. So Chuma Edoga has started at right tackle with Connor McDermott out. And then he's been going over to the left side when George Fant comes out. And then Max Mitchell, the rookie, has been with the first team at right tackle. So there's a lot of moving pieces here for the offensive line. And I think a lot of fans say, oh, well, this is where Dwayne Brown comes in.
Well, Dwayne Brown came in on Saturday night. He was there at the green and white scrimmage, and Robert Saleh and Joe Douglas said the guy's in phenomenal shape. Joe Douglas did say the wheels are in motion there. There's been reports out there that Dwayne Brown has multiple suitors. We'll have to see how this all unfolds. It seems like a perfect match on the surface. Saleh and Brown do have a connection from their past, going way back to Houston, actually, when Robert Saleh was an assistant coach with the Texans. Former first-round pick. Here's a guy who started 33 games the last 2 years with the Seattle Seahawks. In fact, he was a Pro Bowler last year, 5-time Pro Bowler, and a 3-time All-Pro, 1-time first-team All-Pro.
Yeah, Dwayne Brown has started 203 games in the National Football League, all at left tackle. But right now, still a free agent. Joe Douglas told WFAN, Boomer and Gio, they were here in Florham Park yesterday, and he said that the wheels are in motion, but obviously it takes 2 to tango. Shifting to yesterday's practice, the defense had its best day by a landslide, pretty much lived in the backfield. And for more on their performance, let's go down to the field with Caroline. Caroline, good morning.
Good morning, Ethan. Good morning, EA. You were right, Ethan. The defense was on absolute fire yesterday, and when I talked to Quinn Alexander after practice, he said everything starts with the D-line. They were getting to the quarterback, getting to the ball, and when they get going, the rest of the defense is able to get going, and then they finish as a team. He said they're just getting started, though, and that when they learn a little bit more on how to play with each other and figuring out those components, they're going to click, and they're going to be tight as ever. So I'm looking forward to Friday and how they play together.
Thanks, Caroline. You know that guy right there, K9, Quinn Alexander, is very much looking forward to his Jets debut in Philadelphia. And for him, Quinn Alexander yesterday in the red zone period specifically, this is what happened. Zach Wilson gets sacked. Then Quan Alexander, second and goal, run stuff. Then Zach Wilson gets sacked again. The defense was on fire, and that guy brings the juice.
Yeah, he certainly does, and he likes the word legendary.
Yes, he does.
He said that a few times with Caroline, a good interview that you can check out on NewYorkJets.com, all our digital platforms, YouTube. Hey, let me tell you something about Quan Alexander. What does he say? Energy vampires? He is an energy vampire. He brings the juice. And yesterday's practice, during team activities, especially early, the story was the defensive line. Constantly in the backfield, the offensive backfield. I believe there was a series of plays. It was probably 4 out of 5 or 5 out of 6 where Zach Wilson had would-be sacks.
Yep.
And somebody who I think maybe we should be talking about more because he's entering year 4 and he's been a good player in this league who could take another leap. That's Quinn Williams. Quinn Williams has been phenomenal here this summer.
Wow, EA is basically teasing the show here.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, did I get ahead of us?
Yeah, you got ahead of ourselves. We're going right into the camp spotlight then with Quinn Williams because, like you said, this is a guy that's pretty much dominated in camp. And we've seen him have his moments throughout the course of his National Football League career. But Quinn Williams really feels like he's on a different level right now.
Great shape. I like that pairing that we're seeing here early in camp with Solomon Thomas. Thomas is another guy who brings the energy out. The Jets love their 3 technique defensive tackles because they want to get up the field in a hurry and impact the quarterback. Quinn Williams came to camp in tremendous shape. We're seeing that. He's just a handful to block for those guys on the interior, and he's having himself a great camp. And I think he really feels like a veteran who is ready to take that next step in his NFL career. And the strength of this team is the defensive line. Their additions plus Carl Lawson coming back in the lineup is all going to have a dramatic effect for Quinn Williams on the inside.
Yeah, and we're going to take a look at that in a minute. If you want to see this Jets defensive line at MetLife Stadium, well, you got 2 chances in the preseason, right? But the home opener is where it's at because the Jets regular season kicks off Sunday, September 11th at MetLife Stadium. Be there for the 2022 home opener when the Jets take on the Ravens at 1 p.m. Secure your seats at nyjets.com/tickets. Savings are available for groups for 10 people or more. And you know that's going to be a great atmosphere. The defensive line is going to be wanting to get after Lamar Jackson, who's obviously very slippery in the pocket. But Quinn Williams, when you think about his career arc, number 3 overall pick in 2019, let's take a look at his supporting cast throughout the years because this was the starting defensive line week 6, 2019, when Quinn Williams was just starting as a rookie. Then you take a look at the 2020 D-line, the 2021 defensive line, obviously missing Carl Lawson with Bryce Huff as a starter. And this is 2022, Carl Lawson, Quinn Williams, Solomon Thomas, and John Franklin Myers. Would you say this is the best supporting cast that Quinn Williams has played with?
Yeah, it's going to be an adjustment on the inside and with those rundowns. For Lorenzo Faticasi, of course, a Jacksonville Jaguar. But when you're looking at Quinn Williams' stats his first 3 seasons, just 2.5 sacks that first year, but 7 and 6 consecutively the past 2 seasons. He has the potential to be a double-digit sack guy from the interior, which is very difficult in the National Football League. Defensive interiors, tackles, we're always starting the list with Aaron Donald, but this guy could take that next step and be in the conversation following a guy like Donald, I think.
I think so, too. And there's a really cool clip that the Jets Twitter account put out, a clip of Quinn Williams talking with Laken Tomlinson, going back and forth about moves. And Laken Tomlinson said that he's going to try to bring out what he's seen in Quinn Williams. But Quinn Williams' play throughout training camp this year, it's pretty contagious, I'd say, and it's palpable. Just ask his fellow defensive lineman, Solomon Thomas, who had this to say about Q.
Quinn is on track to having an unbelievable year. The way I've seen him dominate play after play in camp has been truly, truly unbelievable. I mean, he can dominate the way he did at Bama this year, and I mean, he already has in the NFL, but like I'm talking about a play-by-play domination. Quinn is playing at a new level right now. It's been fun to see him force into that.
Solomon Thomas, another guy that's had a very impressive camp, and penciled in as the starter next to that guy, 95, Quinn Williams, on the unofficial depth chart. And with Quinn Williams, EA.
Look at Aaron White get after the guys right now.
He's really bringing it. He's turning up the heat because it's a cool day, low 80s right now. But with Quinn EA, when you look at his sack numbers, 6 in 2021, 7 in 2020, both led the team. This year, aren't you just hoping that he can take that next step because of the one-on-one matchups that a guy like Carl Lawson won't be getting, and you would imagine that Quinn Williams might be seeing a little more one-on-one?
Well, you can't double team everybody, and Solomon Thomas did have 3.5 sacks last year with the Raiders, and I think John Franklin Myers is also going to benefit from the bodies the Jets have, the talent they have up front, because he's not going to be playing as many snaps, and the Jets, if they are able to win on early downs, will be nasty in those passing situations. I continue to say that because I truly believe that you can shift Franklin Myers inside on a guard, and he's going to be able to take advantage. And Quinn Williams is a guy, again, rare ability, rare athleticism, powerful, stout. He's got such good leverage. He uses his hands very well. Really nothing that he can't do. And what's happened here, I think he's come to camp in great shape, like we've talked about, and he's got a good mindset, and he knows what offenses are trying to do. But also, I think he's a great fit for the system because you think about him, it's all about interior penetration and just getting up the field, and that's what these guys want the defensive tackles to do.
Also, you have to remember this time last year, Quinn Williams wasn't on the field in training camp with a foot injury. So now being fully healthy, entering year 2 under Aaron White-Cotton right there, the defensive line coach, Jeff Ulbrich and Robert Saleh, you'd expect him to take a jump, being more familiar in the system. Let's take a look at some of the guys who did not practice yesterday. Connor McDermott, Ty Johnson, DJ Reed, Vinnie Curry, more of the same. One guy that we did not see on the field, but Robert Saleh was not asked about, that's cornerback Brandon Eccles. So we'll keep an eye out to see if he's on the field today.
Yeah, he had the jersey on. We don't know what he's dealing with, maybe some soreness. He didn't have any kind of leg sleeve or anything like that. Didn't look like he was limping, so maybe he'll be back soon.
Something to monitor, and that guy right there, Sauce Gardner, preparing for his first preseason game, his first NFL game. We often talk about a revamped cornerbacks room, but this Jets team basically has 2 new safeties in a way because Jordan Whitehead is the free agent addition from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But LaMarcus Joyner, who signed with the Jets last year, EA, only played 9 snaps before his season ended at Carolina. So in a way, the Jets really do have 2 new safeties.
Yeah, and I do think it's going to be important for them to get these game reps. It's one thing going out there on the practice field each day and going against the Jets offense each week. But even if they only play 2 series or a quarter against the Philadelphia Eagles, you just want to see the communication between these 2 guys. Obviously, Whitehead is raved about LaMarcus Joyner, and the Jets like Joyner's coverage ability, so those guys can move around quite a bit, and I think Whitehead can be a tone center potentially for this defense because he's a thumper.
How about this guy right here, 22? Tony Adams, undrafted free agent, Illinois. He's really caught your eye the past couple practices.
I thought he was great in a scrimmage. Like, seriously. When you saw the reserves in there, 22 was flying around all over the place. So I like the depth the Jets have showcased at the safety position. Jason Pinnock is a guy that I'm very high on. He's making that conversion. You got to give him some time. This is a former college cornerback. But how about Will Parks? Kind of flying a little bit under the radar as well this training camp. He gets his hands on a lot of football.
Yeah, Will Parks, a pair of interceptions in recent practices. And when you look at the depth here, you mentioned Jason Pinnock, but that's another guy that's, this time last year, was a cornerback.
Yeah.
And now this is his first full offseason as a safety.
Yeah, and again, there is a learning curve, but he definitely has the right mindset, and you just have to look at the game through a different lens. But he does have that big physical body, and I think that's going to help him find the football when you're switching to the safety position. But there are a lot of things to learn, and I think it's good that he's paired up in a room with a veteran like a LaMarcus Joyner, who's seen a lot throughout his NFL career, and then a young veteran like the aforementioned Whitehead, who is 25 years old, played in the postseason a number of times, and also has a championship ring. And, oh, by the way, went to Pittsburgh as well.
Oh, by by the way, hail to Pitt. NFL Network has you covered with insider access across all 32 teams. All-day coverage continues this week. Inside training camp only on NFL Network. All right, let's wrap up here with our cover 4. Let's bring in Caroline from the field. Before we go in here into our cover 4, I just want to know, Caroline, a temperature check on the field, is it as nice as it looks?
Oh my gosh, it's so much better compared to the past few days. Last practice was real feel 105. The real feel is like 80 today, so I'm living for this weather. It's really nice.
I need a sweatshirt for that.
I'm excited. EA and I are excited to join you outside momentarily, just like the three of us, Jets fans and the players, very excited for this Friday at Lincoln Financial Field. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to talk about who we're most looking forward to seeing watching play. We put the question out on Twitter. We got a lot of responses. One person just said the Jets. Now, I don't know if we have the tweets queued up. If we don't, I'll just say who we got. But here's number 1, Zach Wilson and the protection the line provides him, EA. What do you think about this answer? Also, side note, love the handle, rather golf today, rather be golfing. That sounds like me.
That does certainly sound like you.
It's not my burner account, I swear.
We do anticipate that Zach Wilson will get a series or two, and he was asked, Robert Saleh was directly asked during the news conference yesterday whether, hey, listen, you're dealing with that injury up front with Becton, and you got some tackle, maybe instability, you want to hold him back. And he said, no, these guys have to play. So it's very important for guys like Chuma Edoga. Remember, Connor McDermott's still out, probably a week to 2 with that low ankle sprain. And then Max Mitchell is a guy I think could really gain from this. Valuable reps. He might be running with the starters for a couple plays if Fant does come out and remains on a pitch count.
Yeah, it'll be exciting to see how that works out. Tweet number 2 coming right up, also from the fans. This is what you expect to see. Little Carl Lawson, little Sauce, right? This is who Revis, that's not Darrell Revis, by the way, but this is what the Twitter account Revis wants to see. Carl Lawson and Sauce. Caroline, who are you more excited to watch between those two guys, Carl Lawson or Sauce?
I think Sauce. I know Carl's coming back and it's kind of his comeback year, but I think Sauce just because there's a lot of hype around him. But, you know, I'm a team player. I'm excited to see both of them.
Also, the one thing to note, Robert Saleh did say the Jets starters expected to play a series or 2. That includes Carl Lawson, who only played one preseason game last year. So we'll see how Robert Saleh monitors that. I'm interested to see what he does with Carl because there are a lot of fans out there that are like, put Carl in bubble wrap until the regular season. And Robert Saleh's been saying, like, the Jets have been the ones holding him back, not vice versa.
Well, yeah, you know, you have to be careful, but at the same time, Robert Saleh has also said you have to develop those calluses.
Yes.
And so he needs a few game reps, and he's going to get some game reps, I would anticipate, in week 1. He wasn't asked directly about Carl Lawson. The other thing that Lawson brings to the table that we've talked about here with the Quinn Williams aspect is he is going to push that pocket from the edge, and those quarterbacks are going to try to step up. They won't have anything to step up into if you do have Quinn Williams flying around and guys like Solomon Thomas.
All right, tweet number 3 here. Also from Twitter, we appreciate the responses. Jermaine Johnson and Breece Hall. I've been very impressed with Jermaine Johnson specifically recently, but Robert Saleh said, yeah, we'll see what happens Friday night. And this is what Jet King on Twitter wants to see too. Jermaine Johnson and Breece Hall. Caroline, I just asked you about the rookies, or about Sauce and Carl. Carl's obviously not a rookie, so I'm going to ask you, EA, between those two guys, Breece and Jermaine, who are you more looking forward to seeing line up?
No, there's not a more there.
It's not a more. Okay.
The answer,
50-50 split.
The answer is yes or both. You're right about right about JJ. He's come on since the pads have come on. I think he's been living in that offensive backfield. He's a very powerful player, and the Jets liked his violence at Florida State. I think it was probably a little bit of a slow start for him here at camp, but he's come on, and Breece Hall continues to flash the wheels. He's a back who can do a little bit of everything. So I'm sorry, I can't put either one of them above the other.
Yeah, well, the Jets have 4 very highly drafted rookies that have all made immediate impacts for this team. Michael Clemens has made it a pretty immediate impact as well. So, Caroline, this is how we're going to wrap up the show here. And we appreciate all the responses. I want to know from your perspective, Caroline, who is the Jet that you are most looking forward to seeing play this Friday at Philadelphia?
Listen, you guys kind of took my answer earlier when you started delving into Jason Pinnock. I'm a big Jason Pinnock fan. He transferred from a cornerback to a safety late last season when all of the COVID protocols kind of took a lot of those safeties out of the mix for the Jets. And in the last 3 weeks, Pro Football Focus ranked him the 4th overall safety in the entire NFL. So now with a whole offseason under his belt as a safety, I'm really excited to see what he could do this year.
EA, what about you?
Let's stay in the secondary. Let's go to Sauce Gardner, the number 4 overall selection out of Cincinnati. Never gave up a touchdown in college. He's played very well here early in his first training camp. The guys are talking about his trash talk. I think I'm going to stay on the field a little bit during his first series in the National Football League to see and hear if he gets after people, but we know he's going to get after people at the line of scrimmage. Highly competitive dude.
Yep.
The Jets have not had somebody with this kind of physical skill set at cornerback in a long, long time. I'm talking about the size, his height, and the physicality to match as well.
What do you think about the pre-draft Antonio Cromartie comparison in terms of his size?
I think it's fair. They play a different game. There's no doubt about that. But as far as just the range they have and the way they can get their hands on you, yeah, there are similarities.
All right, so you knew that I was going to go a little bit in the weeds here for my answer. I'm going with Calvin Jackson, all right, the undrafted wide receiver who made it a name for himself in rookie minicamp tryouts. I saw this guy field a punt one-handed behind his head, and honest to God, I was like, wow, that was pretty cool. 2 days later, the Jets signed him. He's been really coming on, I feel like, the past couple practices.
Helmet on or off?
With the punt?
Yeah.
Oh, the helmet was on.
Okay.
And then he just reached back and stuck it one hand.
Caught a touchdown in the green and white scrimmage.
Caught a touchdown. He had a great catch yesterday, a leaping catch from Joe Flacco.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is a guy that you often talk about special teams value. Knowing that Braxton Berrios is an all-pro returner, I would imagine that Calvin Jackson would get significant run in the preseason as a returner and also as a receiver. So I'm very excited to see what Calvin Jackson provides here coming Friday and then against the Falcons and against the Giants. And that wraps up the preseason. Caroline, thank you for your answer. Obviously, we had a feeling Caroline was going to go Jason Pinnock, but we appreciate it. Now taking a look at the quarterbacks right here. Mike White is a guy last year who also came on in the preseason. You started to see the steps forward, but right now, crowded quarterbacks room. Chris Streveler, we've not seen take a team rep. You think he'll get some run on Friday?
You're putting me on the spot here.
I am. This is unscripted.
I would think no.
I would think no, too. I would think it would be
Because you just mentioned it. You just said it. He hasn't taken a team rep in practice yet.
Correct.
So unless he's getting some team reps out there today, I don't see it.
How long do you think Flacco plays? Like, you think Mike White's getting a half?
Yes.
So it'll be Wilson. You expect Wilson for the first series or two, maybe the first quarter, then Flacco goes for the rest of the first half, and then Mike White quarters 3 and 4.
Yeah, this is all my guess here, but yeah, I could certainly see that happening.
So
I think Mike White, at the end of the day, when we're looking at the stats, he has the most reps, has the most attempts, and the most completions Friday night against the Eagles.
So the Jets starters, including that guy right there, Zach Wilson, expected only to play a couple series against the Eagles. Nick Sirianni hasn't decided. He's also said, or rumors have it out there, that the Eagles starters also going to play only a series or two. I know people, including myself, were excited to see the Sauce Gardner, maybe Devontae Smith matchup. Devontae Smith not practicing today. So just injuries to keep an eye on for the Eagles.
Sauce Gardner's going to get his shot against Atlanta because they got some big receivers the
Drake
following
London.
week. Yeah, Friday and Saturday they will be here.
That's right. I'm very excited to see Sauce Gardner, Drake London, rookie on rookie. And that's all we have here for this episode of Training Camp Live, presented by Atlantic Health. We're back here live on Tuesday, but before that, Jets-Eagles, Friday night, the preseason opener. Make sure to get your cheesesteak, and we'll see you Tuesday.